Hello, everybody. I thought I was muted, but I'm not. Happy Mondays. I'm Sirken. It's Monday. You guys are you. I am not feeling great, so if I sound slightly under the weather, that is why, and I do wholeheartedly
People
apologize
you
for
meet,
that.
you.
Stop talking. You guys shouldn't be able to talk to each other. That's how hold works.
Oh, for hell's sakes.
I know. So for anyone who's ever been on the stream before and thought being on hold before the stream started sucked, these two guests tonight can tell you tales that will put your story to shame because I don't think I've ever left anyone on hold that long. I am sorry about that. I got distracted. Um, but that being said, Cloki, you're one of the wonderful guests this evening. How say hi? How are you? Tell us who you are.
Hi, I'm Cloki. I'm doing well. I'm the guild leader of Omni on P99.
A plus, and we also have the wonderful Famas here joining us this evening. Famas, say hi to these people and tell them things about who you are in case they don't know who you are.
Hey, what's up? I stream basically mostly P99 and about started about a year or so ago, but I've been playing EQ for like 17 years, so I just can't get rid of it.
Are you 1171 on Twitch?
I am Famas 1171.
All right, so that's in stream, and in like 25 seconds, they'll know why it's in stream. But that's his link. You guys should go there. You should click that. You should follow him. If he would be so kind as to say hi in chat, you can just click on his name, and then you can follow like that. It saves you steps. He's definitely worth following. And also, hello to people that are here: Sever and Sir Sirius without an I, and Papa Mustard and Veyrun. Hello, and Bartillo looks dangerously close to. Actually, it doesn't look anything like Burrito. My brain is just stupid today. RCDS. I was fapping with two other dudes. It would have been rude for me to just stop and cut them off. You gotta let everyone finish in a group activity like that. Burrito, thank you so much for the host, sir. And yeah, fuck Famamas. If you're Famamas, you're Famamas to me now. If you host me, you can definitely say fuck one of my guests. Hell, you know what? You can have sex with one of my guests, Burrito. Your pick. And Temporal Rift. A plus. Now we're all caught up. Um, well, both you guys, thank you for joining. Cloki, I don't know any of your links. Streamer links are easy because it's just Twitch TV and the streamer name. But if you have a thing for Omni for recruiting purposes, you should probably fire that off.
I don't think we have any streamers.
Fuck streamers. What about just people that want to maybe join your guild or are looking for a guild or looking for information on a guild? Where would they
Oh,
go
sure.
for such a matter?
You want me? I'll post a link in Skype for you. I don't have an account on this Twitch shit.
That's fine. I will. I would love to be your copy and paste secretary. Hey, Famas.
So,
Quick sidebar. The other night when America lost that soccer game, do you remember talking to me in your chat at all?
that night, I remember you were there. I don't remember what I said.
I asked you.
I remember what happened though.
I got there and like I guess it had happened recently and you were kind of pissy about it. And so I asked in chat like, "What's going on? Which team lost?" And you got so mad. You got so
Yeah,
mad.
because I was like, you're so un-American. You don't even know what game just happened. Nah,
Yeah, I'm not
it
gonna
was
lie.
a long night.
I don't watch the soccer. So I'm gonna throw a link in chat. There it is. That's the Omni information, guild information stuff. Go there if you want informations.
So if you go to there, have a look at our charter first, and that'll probably tell you what you need to know, whether or not you think it'd be interesting for you.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the things you do. They'll get information. We'll throw it in again at the end. It'll be good. Famas, I'm just gonna start with you.
Yeah.
I know you're in Nocturma. I don't know if you are an officer or a member or what your role is in said guild.
I'm a follower.
Just a follower.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about Nocturma. Tell me a little bit why you are in Nocturma.
I'm in Nocturma because Micah is a swell gentleman. He invited me. He had an idea of having just basically the most super casual of guilds, but still accomplish epics, accomplish the things that don't require the big, the big raids. We didn't want to become a Zerg guild or anything like that. We want to be like a tight knit group of people, and he's kind of put that together so far.
I see.
So yeah.
And are you guys doing epic mobs, raid target thing? Like, what kind of stuff are you guys killing? What kind of epics are you getting? Like, I know you guys are super casual. Like, I know you guys make Cloki's guild look like hardcore neckbeards. But I do see you guys in KO a lot. But what other things are you guys up to? What are you guys doing?
Right now, we basically have the epics that you can actually buy for like 30 to 50k. But we have how many monk epics, shaman epics? Like, we just do the small stuff for now. We're working on a few enchanter epics because we did have one at a time, but he pretty much got his epic and quit. Haven't seen him since. So now we're working to get Micah's, just getting kind of like the essential classes. So you know how an enchanter epic comes in handy every now and then. But other than Cal, we haven't really progressed too much in Velius besides that. We've done Dragon Acropolis, try to just do random drops in there, like for the hat quest. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to think of anything else.
Oh, you mentioned that you did Wraith and Broken Golem last night. That's Broken Golem was pretty tough.
Like, we just try to get anything that we can, anything small. We can't really have a bat phone or mobilize that fast or as such as anybody else, but we try to get what we can when we can. It's beyond super casual.
All right. Cloki.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the history of Omni. Where'd you guys come from? Why are you in Omni?
The what?
Well, I started playing about 5 years ago. Like,
they're not salted.
Just past 5 years.
Oh.
And I.
Hold on.
And I. All right.
Famas, mute your goddamn mic. Or your.
Oh, my bad.
All right. And I started out in BDA, and I was an officer in BDA, and played in the morning, and then decided BDA wasn't a good home for me anymore, so I left and founded Omni, and we've been around for a couple of years. We're one of probably the smaller raiding guilds on the server. We'll pull 35 in Sky on a good day, sometimes as low as 24 or something. We have 2 to 3 scheduled raid days a week, and we tackle all kinds of content. Today we were fortunate enough to take on CT. There's a bunch of content, a bunch of the huge mobs that we haven't done yet, but there's a bunch of the bigger stuff that we have done as well. We often work in conjunction with Azure Guard and Europa on the larger targets.
The CSG Alliance.
Yeah, CSG is a moniker that stands apparently for the casual scum guilds.
You said it, not me.
Oh, well, I didn't say it initially, but it kind of stuck, and I don't mind the moniker at all. So people call our alliance CSG. What else is there to know? We're kind of a weird guild insofar as what kind of people we recruit and why we play the game. If you have a look at our site and our charter, that'll kind of explain it a little bit better than I can. I guess what I'd say about the kind of people we recruit is I figure that if you're in Omni, we can put gear on you and we can even teach you how to play the game, but we can't teach you how not to be an asshole. And that's kind of our criteria for recruiting.
I like it. Real quick, Want to say what's up to Sarl and Micah Davis. Micah Davis is another streamer that you guys should click on and follow if you don't. Zentoki, and thank you, Fatal One. There's no news about Discord. If that's why you're here, you're sorely disappointed. Unless it's going to be like one of those end credit Marvel movie reveals, where at the very end, like I'll pop back on and be like, "Hey nerds, blah 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 blah. Discord. Here's the date." So, and I think I'm caught up on that. Someone buy Sirken a map. I am pretty bad at Nectulus. I'm not gonna lie. Shit, Famas, did I ask you why you started streaming P99? Because I wanted to, and I feel like I didn't. No, I didn't. Famas, or whatever I called you earlier, and I already forgot, but I thought it was fun. Why? How and why did you get into streaming P99? I know you do other games too, but why P99 specifically?
Yeah, it was the one game that I actually knew. You know, I played it for so long, and
Did you play live?
No. Well, like what I was saying, EQ live. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about. But yeah, back from 2000 to like 2007, I played for like the longest time, and then when I came back, I discovered like. Oh. Sorry, hold on one second.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anyway, I played from 2007, and then when I came back, I started on the Fippy Darkpaw server, started playing there on the progression, and then when I saw P99, I'd known about it for a long time. I just never got onto it because of the difficulty actually getting on there. I didn't want to mess with it. But I got convinced to actually do it, and I discovered Twitch at that same time, and I was like, well, let me just see if I can actually do it.
Hey, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
What was so difficult about getting on P99 initially? I mean, what did you see as the roadblock?
The oddball ways to actually get platinum.
Oh, all right. And so you weren't... yeah, all of the ways to... You needed a copy of platinum, and getting a hold of it was the hiccup. Yeah, titanium.
Oh, yeah, titanium, platinum. Sorry.
No, there's a big difference there.
I thought it was the same.
But that was your hiccup.
That was my hang up on it. And I didn't know that many people at the time when P99 first started. I didn't know that many people that actually played it. I had more friends that were on live, and I was actually in a raid guild on Fippy, so I was kind of preoccupied with that. But when I quit that, I just kind of came back and was like, well, P99 is going to have Velios coming out soon. So I was like, well, fuck it, let's try it. So that was really it.
That's good. I wish, if Daybreak was smart, they would release... I don't even know if they can. I don't even know if it's possible. I'm saying they're dumb. But if it is possible and they're not doing this, then they're dumb. But they should have some kind of digital download for Titanium for like $10 to $20 a pop, and they would make a killing. Like, I know they would, because I know there's people who don't want to download it, and I know there's people that don't want to pay stupid prices that it goes for on like eBay and such.
Yeah, a lot of what goes on with us is people are just like shipping sticks to each other.
What? Oh,
like
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
So you send him a USB stick.
It took a minute. Like I said, my brain's not in the right place. Yeah, no, I guess. I don't know if that's illegal or not, but...
I certainly wouldn't want to condone it if it were.
No. No, that's definitely a hypothetical.
Right.
All right.
But by the same token, I'm looking at my titanium set in my bookcase too, so...
I have two. I feel like I can cover at least one person.
Yeah, most of us. I mean, and how many accounts did we all have, back before we quit? I think I was 4-boxing live, so, yeah, whatever.
I'm like the only asshole that had 2 accounts and didn't 2-box.
Boxer scums.
I just wouldn't get it.
I played a ranger, so...
So you needed to.
I needed a cleric.
Right, I understand. Rangers are pretty bad.
They were in the Kunark era. Got back.
All right,
Speaking of, is Luckland ever coming out? Can Rangers ever be good?
I mean, Rangers might be good one day, but Luckland's never coming out.
Pop was where they really started to shine, I think.
I mean, I don't know. It depends what kind of custom content the devs put out. I mean, the devs can literally do whatever they want to do, and I know.
Are you willing to talk about that?
No, I don't know. I'm not a dev, but
well, right. I mean, but is that actually in process, or are we just blue skying here?
I know that Nobog knows dev people, like potential dev people that do have interest in doing custom content. I know there's certain things that need to be put together before certain ideas can actually be achieved. But I mean, with enough time and people, like, I feel like our devs can literally do anything. Like we can,
I don't doubt that, but I was more wondering what if that was being actively developed or actively talked about, or if getting Velius mechanically.
I know right now that's the thing. Velius, like that's what people are working on right now, as far as I know, is Velius stuff, fixing things that get reported in the bug forum. And yeah, sidebar, if you guys find a bug, don't just assume we know about it. Make a thread in the bug report section and let us know, because the devs are not CSR. They don't see petitions. A lot of them don't play. I'd say I don't know if any of them play at this moment, actually. And
tell them to fix the Z-axis in hate, if you remember.
Z-axis is fucked everywhere.
Hate's especially bad.
I mean, I just don't think there's any. I don't know if there's any kind of check for it. Like that's why you can summon corpses on the across ring war. Shit.
You know what might work on the ring war with losing things under the ground is to do a Z-axis check and then just a kill, because getting them back up top is impossible, and that's nasty.
Well, you know what? I bet a dev would love to hear about that, and you should put it in the bug report section of the forums.
Oh, God, I've got 6 petitions I've got to put in on items and shit that I can't even get to.
Oh man, you messed up. I just cleared all my petitions like 2 nights ago.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, weren't the devs working on like some Discord server, like One Death server or something like that?
We did a stream, me and Rogan and Nobog and maybe other staff people, talking about our idea for a Discord server, and we're gauging some interest. But you know what? Sometimes things in life change, and then plans have to be adjusted, and so right now that is definitely not on the forefront of what we're doing or talking about. But I haven't ever heard anyone say we're definitely not doing a Discord server. It's just not something we're talking about now.
Gotcha.
Do you have any idea about the patch status? I put out I asked for questions from
I have no idea.
All 3 guilds.
I have no
We're
idea
a couple of patches behind, I think. Okay.
Because
people want to know about that.
It requires devs to whatever stuff what any particular dev is working on. This is a lot of assuming, because again, I'm not a dev, but if we're trying to be like, okay, we need to get to month X of this year for patch purposes, like that's the point of the EQ timeline we're going to be at. We want to try to get all of that in before we patch it so that it's complete. And then once everything is in, Rogan has to patch it. And so it's kind of like multiple keys that need to be turned, I guess. Just not at the same time. But
here's the deal, is that your Twitch stream is one of the only outlets for news, and we don't...
That's not true. You got the announcement section of the message board. That's where literally every actual, like, set in stone,
I understand what you're telling me.
Gets posted.
I thought it was Ransom Flames.
But your stream is weekly. That, I mean, if you look at the periodicity of the announcements there. But the thing that I wanted to say is that nobody at my level knows how compartmentalized it is on the back end. And so in this moment right now, you are P99 every week at 7 p.m. to everybody. And this is where people come, or probably the key place that people come to get their questions answered. And so even though you're compartmentalized and split off from the devs, that's not the expectation of the consumers.
I feel really bad for people if this is where they're coming for their P99 weekly news.
I thought that's what you did here. I thought you kind of told everybody, "Hey, this is the."
I mean, I
weekly
kind of
update."
just
download.
answer
No,
questions and shoot the shit with players. I mean,
Yeah,
it's more of a Q&A, I think, than like,
I thought this was where
Here's
you fill in
your-
your petitions and you answer them quickly.
I mean,
But-
I don't know, maybe.
think
but
about the other
probably not.
outlets
I'm not
for
even in game right now.
info dump, though. I mean,
What do you mean?
this is pretty much it that's regular.
What do you mean info dump?
Info dump from staff to players. This is
Oh,
pretty much
yeah,
the most
yeah.
regular spot. And so that's probably why the expectation is there.
I mean,
I think you'd be pretty popular if you did like CSR maybe 4 or 5 times a week on here for about an hour or two. That people might like that. They can bitch at you a lot more regularly, and you'd
Yeah,
have a
in
lot
real
less petitions in game. Yeah.
oh man, most people would not publicly do their petitions.
Like it fucking matters. Like who?
Let me
Secrets
tell
on
you
here.
something. You
Come
have
on
no
now.
idea how much some of these pixels matter to some of these people. And you have no idea how embarrassed some of these people get when they fuck something up. And they're like, yeah, no, can you please do this quickly because I don't want my guild to know I fucked up my epic turn-in.
See, that's just fucking stupid. If you fucked it up, just be like, well, sorry guys, I fucked it up. It's not that big of a goddamn deal.
Oh yeah, no,
Just have you restore it, and we're good to go.
I don't give favoritism to the stupid. I just see the post when I get to the thread.
Most of the time, it's quicker to just go restart anyway.
Pretty much.
Sometimes depends what it is. I mean, there's
Yeah,
some
it really
things
does.
that like I would never redo. Like it'd be like either a GM is fixing this or I'm just never gonna have that item. And I don't know. I don't mind helping people because I mean, people are gonna fuck up and people are gonna make
Are
mistakes.
you lost in the temple? Oh, you found it.
Dude, I'm so bad at night. I was actually talking about this exact thing with someone earlier. I am horrible at the fucking finding that port out in the Fear Temple.
Just stay left.
Burrito, clearly not enough of them because there's still a lot of people that do not think I'm a swell guy. I don't know if you're the real Get Some, but if you are, hi there. And everyone else, I know some of you have been asking questions and I'm not doing them. And it's just because I don't have my regular people here that deal with questions here. But I will say just hang on till like closer till the end. And then I'm going to say fire off your questions. And I'm going to ignore these two swell guests of mine. And I'm going to focus on answering your questions. But right now, I'm answering theirs. And I feel bad missing yours. And I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. So just know, ask it later and then things. So we kind of touched a little bit on raiding, but I don't know. Famas, has Noctura ever like competed against another guild for a target, or do you guys usually like show up somewhere, set up camp, and then like work your way towards whatever just because it's up and no one's really going for it?
Yeah, besides like the Chardock Royals, Cal Arena, if somebody's like camping it. Other than that, we've usually just kind of go do something else. But I don't think has been anything that we've mobilized against quickly. I mean, there might have been a few epic mob spawns that came up.
Okay.
I mean, like
VT
Shisar
and
last
VD
night.
are always tough.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anybody that we've been racing yet. You know,
All right. Well,
like when we did Shisar last night, there was nobody that was competing, but we tried to be quick about it just in case. But I don't think it was that big of a deal.
all right. Well,
We're just not big on raids.
that's fine. I'm going to swing this to Cloki real quick, and then I'm going to come back to you, Famas. Cloki, I know your
Yes.
guild has been in multiple raid systems and does compete on certain things. How's it going?
How much time do you have?
I mean, I don't know. We gotta fill some
I
time,
mean,
so I'll just cut you off when it gets too long, I suppose.
I think the key question. All right, this is probably going to be shit that people don't want to hear, but I've been here for 5 years and been paying attention to rating for more than 4 of it in some kind of capacity or another. And there are a few things that I think are just absolute bullshit tropes that people believe about the rating scene that aren't true. Do you want to hear those?
Sure.
Lines.
All right.
Oh, we'll get to
The
the
first
lines.
one is that it kind of pisses me off when the staff blames the players for the poor state of the raid scene. And I'll tell you why. I've been here watching this shit for 5 years, and the names of the guilds, the 2 top guilds change, the guild leaders change, the membership kind of waxes and wanes, but the same shit happens. There's training all over the place, there's acrimony, there's petition quest, you've got to win. RNF isn't so bad as it used to be, but you had to win the race, then you had to win the lawyering, and then there was the whole PR shit in RNF and everywhere else. And I hear the staff blame the players a lot for what goes on here.
I've blamed the players a lot.
I think it's 100% on the staff, because you've cycled through players and guilds for the 5 years that I've seen, and it's pretty much been the same. And I'll make an analogy here. I mean, you're in Chicago, right, Sirken?
Yeah.
There are some bars there that you see 3 or 4 fights a night. And there are some bars there that you'll see 2 or 3 fights in a year. And that 100% comes down to the guy who owns the bar and what kind of culture he wants in the bar, and the kind of bouncers he employs and what power he gives the bouncers. And I can tell you that if the owners of the server wanted a different raid scene, all they'd have to do is employ the bouncers and give them some power to act, and it would be different. It comes from the top down. It doesn't come from the bottom up here. That's the first thing that I think is bullshit. Ready for the second, or do you want to comment?
I'll comment.
I have one question, actually.
Right,
how much does a GM or staff, do they intervene at any point while the actual engaging of the mob during that time, or do they deal with it after the fact?
We used to get involved if we were there and saw something, but then it got real problematic because what would end up happening... Well, you'll be there when Guild A does something wrong and you'll spank Guild A, but then if you're not also online the very next time that Guild B does something wrong, you're clearly in Guild A's pocket, favoritism, bias, blah, 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 blah.
So there's no GMs that kind of like have a hand-to-hand, like consistent bait, like hand in the pot, watching over people. Like, is there anybody that does that, or do they just kind of read the petitions?
I have people that will, I have people in different guilds that will tell me, this is actually funny because I've gotten lots of shit over the years for giving people dragon spawn timers, which is not a thing I do. But I actually do have players tell me when things pop because I don't know, and I'm not going to look them up and calculate tens of thousands of seconds into an actual readable amount of time for my brain. And so I get a message if I'm online from a friend saying, you know, this is popping. And if I'm on, I'll go there and I'll watch. And that way, if something happens, if it does get petitioned, I was there and I saw what happened. And so I can rule on it very quickly and easily without really having to talk to anybody. But ideally, I do try to encourage guilds to work things out themselves.
I think it's gotten to the point that I don't think that would ever be possible. And I think you understand that too.
It's possible. It still happens. There's lots of things that
every now and then.
Well, I mean, Cloki, you deal with some bullshit. I mean, what would you say the the ratio on problems to problems being worked out between guilds is, at least for
I
you
don't.
guys.
Have you ever seen an official petition from me on the forums? I mean, sometimes I'll howl, but we've worked everything out.
I don't think
Uh,
so. I know some guilds are easier to work things out with than other guilds are.
well,
Um,
hell, I mean, my last two parlays and sit downs, my last three have been with Aftermath, and they have a reputation of being difficult to work with. Yet we've been able to figure shit out. I mean, I think it's always a two-way street.
I see. I see. Um,
Anyway, but the point is that it's bullshit to blame the players for how the ecosystem is set up.
I mean,
I'd say it's
maybe, but
50.
part of the reason the ecosystem exists in the form that it exists is because of players. There's not a single rule that we have that we just were like, you know what would be fun? Let's do this. Like, literally every single rule we have is a direct result of something players did.
Well, I understand that, but then that goes to the second part of my point, is employing bouncers and giving bouncers the authority and encourage. I mean, see, here's the deal. You got a vision from up top, and the bar owner says, okay, this is what I want my bar to be like. This is what I don't want my bar to be like. I'm going to hire these people or get volunteers to do this and to enforce my vision. And so, yeah, I mean, sure, a lot of these rules are artifacts of what players have done. I don't dispute that. But the vision and the outcome and the actual behavior that goes on, I mean, you can tell a guy in a bar not to fight, and if he's fighting and you don't bounce him, then what I suggest is that you have exactly the results that you want. You want a bar where you tell people not to fight, but they do. I mean, it's entirely up to the owner of the ecosystem how the ecosystem comes down. I mean, you can 86 people anytime you want. If you own a bar, you can reserve the right to reserve service. You can call it, you can do any one of a number of things to have your establishment looking like you want it. And especially here, because this is all free. I mean, you guys don't owe us anything. I mean, you can have whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, you say that, but it's not really that simple. We had a small little staff discussion kind of on that subject recently, talking about how sometimes there was somebody who, for argumentative purposes, one of the staff members, at least one, probably more, had deemed as a piece of shit. And not just because we didn't like the way they smelled, but because of a variety of actions and words that they have said and spoken, or done and spoken, whatever. And they were banned on a couple things, but not banned in game. And we got to the point where oh my god, I get derailed so fucking easy. We got to the point where it came down to, it's not against the rules to be a shitty person, but do we want to have some kind of process to essentially vote people off the island? And
Right. Well, you've proven my point for me here.
one of the problems with doing that is we, like, right now we have a pretty good staff. Like, I don't care what player opinion is. I mean, as far as like corruption goes, and like how much I trust these people and so on and so on, like, I feel good about the current staff we have. But we have had staff members in the past that have
Have been capricious.
absolutely abused their power and have absolutely picked on players just because they didn't like them, and made things harder for guilds just because they didn't like them. And once you say, okay, this is a thing that we're going to do, like, this is a precedent we're setting, should I be removed from staff, or should I quit, or should other staff quit, or we just bring on more people? we don't want one rogue staff member to start banning people. And
All right, that's fine. And so, I mean, you're just proving my point here. What you've done is you've determined that you'd prefer to have shitty people here and not give the bouncers power. But again, that's a decision that comes from the top down, not the bottom up, right?
again, like I see what you're saying, but I feel like you just stepped over everything I just said. Like, we're aware that in a perfect world that is a better system, but this isn't a bar where you have an endless supply of people, and it's not a bar where you have to worry about any legal repercussions against you for people fighting. Um, People are gonna fight. People are gonna argue. People are gonna be shitty. This is the internet. You don't have
No, no,
the ability of
I'm not saying.
anonymousness in the fucking bar, whereas here you do. And some guilds, even if we ban a person, they will re-roll and get power leveled and geared out, and they'll be right back with their clique of people. Like,
Right. But what I'm saying is that the culture comes from the top down, and you're agreeing with that.
I'm agreeing, yeah, we can do absolutely whatever we want to do. The problem
So,
is that creates lots of room for abuse, and we don't want that to be a thing.
right. And so you'd rather have no abuse or no possibility for
I would
abuse
rather a
and what
hundred
you have
guilty
now.
people run around free than one innocent person get banned. Yes. 100% yes.
All right, and so that brings me to the point that for 5 years you've been complaining about the players, 100 guilties running around,
Hmm.
and laying it on the players when it's a decision to value that particular principle as a staff. It
You're
comes from the
basic.
top
So
down.
basically, you're trying to tell me that it is the staff's fault when a player grabs a bunch of mobs, runs them past your camp, and then dies, flops, gates, or caps out.
No, this is what I'm telling you.
Like, that's
Um,
not staff fault. We don't make people be shitty. People are shitty.
right, but whether you have serial offenders here is staff's problem. I mean, that's a
We
question
have
for you, not
increasing
me.
punishments for things. Every individual punishment is doubled from the previous amount of punishment, so it's.
All right, you're straying from the point that I was making.
I don't even know if
And
I understand the point you're making anymore. Because I feel like you're saying the staff has essentially the magic wand that they can wave and fix everything.
what
And
I'm saying
that's
is that
not
you have the
possible.
culture that you want right now because of the decisions that you've made. Stop blaming the players for the raid scene.
Have the players stop doing stupid shit, and I'll stop blaming them for stupid shit.
Get rid of stupid, shitty people, and you won't have stupid, shitty things done anymore. I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, who gets to
This is
define
your
who is
house.
shitty people? Someone said that
The
to me
staff,
recently.
the
Here's the thing.
gods.
This isn't my house. This is absolutely not my house. This is Rogan and Nilbog's house. I
Right,
live
and
in the
I'm blaming
house,
them, not
but I
you.
don't own it. And,
I'm
yeah,
saying
we
it's up
get
to
to
them.
decide who plays in the backyard, certainly. And that's super good. But again, we can't have it's very dangerous to be able to just ban people for things just because
I'm not
someone says
telling you
they're a
that you
shitty
should
person.
ban people for things. This is not what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating
Well,
banning
that's the
anybody.
equivalent of bouncing them out of the
Hold on.
bar.
Hold on. What I'm saying is that the owners of the server, Sirken and Nilbog, get to decide on the culture of the server. It's 100% up to them. It's up to us whether or not we want to log in. And so for the culture to exist, you have to imagine that it follows their vision. Right? I mean, you said that the value is better 100 shits run free than one innocent get whacked. That's what they want. It's their server. It's a choice they've made. Therefore, having shits here is something they have to live with. Don't blame the shits. It's a choice they've
Every
made. That's all I'm saying.
MMO on the internet has shitty people in it. Every single one. Free ones, pay ones, volunteer staffs, legit staffs, every single one of them. You're never, ever, ever going to be able to get rid of all the shitty people. Because even if we did ban hammer over the top and police state, again, people will say, hey, you're our friend. You've been in our guild for X amount a year. In your case, you've been around the server 5 years. Some of these people have been around a real long time, and those are usually the shitty ones because they feel they can get away with things. If we ban them, and I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass, I've seen this happen. If we ban them, a lot of times they just make a new account, get power leveled, get geared, and they're right back in the same place. And yes, we can IP ban them, but I'm sure you know how easy it is to get around that.
Of course, it's
We set
trivial.
we set rules, and obviously we're not everywhere all the time because we do have other things to do. And sure, maybe we are looking at applications to get more staff because more eyes are always good, but it is hard to find people that are willing to donate a bunch of time. We even lowered the amount of time we're looking for because we're starting to realize that it's too high of a bar. But to find someone with the right amount of time that they can give, plus they don't have a history of scumbaggery, and like, we have to be able to trust them. And so it's hard to find staff that we can trust and that will be able to actually help us. But when people do scumbaggery, I mean, yeah, when it's a raid thing, I want people to try to work it out themselves, but that's because I got sick of petition quests. If it's an individual thing, like an XP group or someone soloing or whatever, GMs aren't time cops. We don't have things that come down the chute and be like, you need to be in Guck right now because some shit's about to pop off. Like, we rely on players to inform us of things, and a lot of players don't have any kind of way to prove it. And I'm not saying they should absolutely be required to run fraps or some kind of local recording thing or whatever, but I mean, shit, you can take screenshots, but at a bare minimum, you can't be like, you need to ban this person because I said this happened, because
Well,
that's not good enough.
I'm not exactly sure what how this is a response to what I said.
I feel it's an
I mean,
excellent full blanket statement to everything.
The only thing that I really took away from it is that we don't have enough staff and we're trying to get more, and it's really hard to get.
Even if we had 50 people on staff, we are not going to know ahead of time when things are going to happen.
But I know
when
but
people
when
people do have proof and people have evidence to support a claim, action is taken. That is why we have some players that are up on 100+ days suspensions. That's why we have some players eating their first suspensions. Players get suspended all the time, every single day. But we need actual proof that they broke the rules.
And it is
on the players to have that proof. It sucks, it's shitty, but yes, it is on the players because we can't just take people's word for it. If it's something like a kill steal or a ninja loot, then yeah, we have logs that we can look at, but there's no magical training logs. So yeah, that's my story.
So y'all have train logs? I didn't know that.
No, there's no training logs. There's no like magical RMT table in the database where I can just select all the RMTers for me. There's nothing like that. A lot of people think we log all kinds of things that we do not log. I won't get into the specifics of what we do and don't, but people think we literally log like every single emote that comes out of them, and that's insane.
Are there other logs that you'd like to see that would make your job easier?
Of course, but it's not realistic for the amount of people we have on the server. Like, we can't, like, for example, like casting a spell. If you logged every time someone casted a spell on this server, the database would set on fire and die.
Yeah, you'd have to pull that out into a real time and put it somewhere else.
If it was a smaller server, if there were only three... I used to be on a different staff or a different server that maxed out around 300 players, and we literally logged everything. Every single thing. And the only reason we could is because if we were lucky, we saw 300 people with 2-boxing allowed.
All right, so what you're telling me then, and what you're telling all the bad actors on the server, is that it's up to the person who gets trained or who gets damaged to provide proof. Otherwise, it's more or less free reign.
I mean, I can't think of any system in the world where you can make a claim against somebody, have no proof, and have action taken.
Right, but there aren't a whole lot of systems wherein it's person-to-person enforcement either.
What do you mean?
Well, you're pretty good at getting parking tickets, right?
I don't get parking tickets. I'm a saint.
You're pretty good at parking illegally, aren't you, right?
Is this about the fire hydrant story?
It is. It is.
All right.
Can somebody rat you out?
He ratted himself out. Now I'm ratting him out further.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, your other citizens don't give you tickets. Who gives you the tickets there?
Meter maids.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And that's the construct of that system. Usually when you get caught, it's not because you get ratted out necessarily. It's because there is an audit which is done by a third party or an enforcement mechanism or some kind of third party policing. And this is not...
Well, I mean, you really don't gotta, wear a wire to give somebody a ticket. I mean, snitching's not really even an option with tickets.
Oh, you get my point, though. Generally, there is third-party enforcement when they're, when everybody's operating under the same set of expectations.
That's what you should do, Sirken. Hire a third party to GM the server.
I actually had a guild offer up a bunch of their members to be staff members.
Why didn't you take it?
Well, because...
It's free stuff right there. Come on. Free labor.
I don't even know if you're trolling me right now.
I'm actually being half serious. I mean, all y'all do pro bono work, correct? So, I mean, you got to take what you can get. And especially if people are going to volunteer for it.
I mean,
make them go through the oath and the swearing. You can do all that.
I know,
but here's the deal here. I mean, and you haven't been around long enough to know, but Rogan's been burned several times.
Are you talking to me or Famas?
Famas.
Oh, because I was going to say, I've been around for a minute.
No, you've been around a long time, longer than I have. But Rogan's been burned several times, and given the authority to the bouncers is something that hasn't always worked out well in the past, and that's, I think, part of what the construct that Sirken's speaking to as well.
Mm.
I think I've seen Rogan actually in game one time ever since I've been here, and that's been like a year and a half now. So, yeah, I don't ever see him on anymore.
Rogan hides and turns his tails off, so you really can't see him. But if you AFK in CS Home long enough, usually something horrible will happen to you, and you'll know it was him. Depending, different people do different things. Bracknar will do something different. I'll turn staff members into fairies. We just do things to each other.
I thought you said we weren't allowed to talk about that stuff.
Oh, see, I see what you did there.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, zing.
All right.
Good job.
Fuck you, Kate. Fuck Venerate, too.
Oh my god, I gotta look at chat.
All right, well, I don't know.
Chat room, I'm so sorry I've been ignoring you.
I'm reading them.
It's still top-down shit. You already talked about the fraps that it didn't happen. I think that's bullshit, too, but we've covered that. I got a third one.
Do you agree with all the rules, Cloki?
I don't care what the rules are. It's not my house. I care if I log in. When I log in, I agree to follow them. And if I hate the rules, I won't log in. So, yeah, they're all fine.
All right.
Some of them are pretty funny.
Well, like Sirken says, though, I mean, here's a stupid one. If you're tracking on for a 16-hour shift, your people can't be, down in disco experiencing. That's a stupid rule. But there's probably no way around it because it's meant
You
to
know
stop
exactly
even
what would
stupider
happen if that
behavior.
rule didn't
Yeah,
exist.
exactly. And so some of the dumbass stuff, some of the stuff that's so counterintuitive to new people, actually is there to, like Sirken says, I mean, so many of the things exist because we collectively have come up with some really stupid shit to do.
Can
true.
you explain one thing for me? The whole first to engage trigger. Uh, I don't even understand why it's even implemented there. I mean, all you got to do is slap a mob on the nuts,
Here's the thing.
and
A lot
it's
of
yours.
players have trouble understanding when a mob is engaged, and literally every single mob became a we don't know whose kill this is kind of thing.
But you know what would be even better to say? Well, we'll just use Cal as the actual example here. What if that first to engage message actually came out when it was like maybe 90%? And it would give the engage message then, because then you would actually have to be in the encounter tanking it, and then that guild gets the actual mob. I get the whole race thing, and you tag a mob, you got an hour to
Back
kill it
up.
or something.
Hold on. Sorry, my brain's fucked up.
You're also
What do you-
talking about two
what's-
different things.
Why would you fire the message at 90%?
To make it more be fair. I mean, I don't like the idea of
But
one
isn't it
person
less
that's
fair
gonna
if
tag
another
it.
guild helps you for? Here's the thing: if my guild and your guild are both going after Trachanon, and you're like I'm a monk, so you like go to stand up from your feigned position or whatever, and I throw a javelin over your head, and we're not sure who hit that thing first. Both guilds are going to charge that thing. And I don't know if how many times you've watched Trachanon die when there's 100 people beating on him, but he dies real quick.
Right.
And
I've seen it die in 2 seconds before.
yeah, like
I
super
understand
quick.
the concept.
And you don't want, like, I don't. It wouldn't be
What
fair if I show up with a guild of 10 people and you show up with a guild of 40 people, but you guys end up pretty much killing the mob for me because you didn't see the message in time. Or I end up dying and then you guys wipe as well because you were on a mob that you can't get any reward from killing anyway.
It's fair enough. Make it 98% and make the actual message go off to the person that the mob keeps hitting, only going off for that person or for that guild or whoever it might be. I don't even know if that's possible, but it just sounds like something better than...
The one thing that you're kind of missing is that the FTE message was instituted on the 32K mobs during the Kunark era. And you're probably thinking about it on some of the bigger mobs that have 100, 200K plus. And, you
The
know,
Bellius mobs and the revamp.
yeah, you're talking like 4, 5, 6 years to build up, you know, everybody's got 6 or 8 60s. And the content is so far beyond trivial. You know, that's part of the reason that it came in, and it came in during that era. And it might not make so much intuitive sense now like so many of the other rules do, but it was a solution to, or part of a solution to a real problem during that era.
Either way, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm not discussing it.
Ideas
like I
are
said, I don't
good.
know anything about it. I'm not ever
Famas,
there. I
ideas
just
are
sit there
good.
and laugh at some of the things that happen, but
And especially,
I see some people in chat are like, "Well, this guy doesn't even fucking know what he's talking about." I mean, I've rated before, but I just see some of the rules that are implemented that are just fucking retarded.
if someone talks shit to you in chat, you tell them to
I
whatever
don't really
you
give a
want.
fuck.
Literally,
I'll laugh.
whatever you want, you can say to them.
But seriously, if they're sitting around for 16 hours, it doesn't make you hardcore. It just kind of makes you a little stupid. But hey, that's just my opinion.
I mean,
I've done
I
it before.
don't
Like
know
rating's really fun. Just I'm not going to spend 16 fucking hours looking at a fucking wall.
I don't know anyone who legitimately sits down and spends 16 hours doing that.
Some people like to brag that they
You
did.
don't?
I don't know. I don't know
I
anyone
think
who's actually put in 16 straight hours tracking.
Well, you're talking to one. I've done that a lot.
Why wouldn't you just do 2 hours and then let someone else do 2 hours and so on and so on? Why would you ever spend 16 hours doing that?
Sometimes I can't get somebody to replace me. I mean, and if I commit to doing something, like for example, if I tell CSG that we'll take this shift on this mob or something, we do it. And
you guys got 3 guilds working together. How in the hell, between 3 guilds, do you not find one person willing to track for a couple hours?
We normally do, but sometimes I've spent 16 hours staring at a damn screen. You say you haven't met anybody that's done that before. I've done it. Well, I don't care. You said that you'd never met anybody. I'm not arguing whether or not you'd do it.
I might need fraps. I might need fraps. 16 hours worth of fraps to prove this. Because
well, I hope I don't need to prove it to you. You asked, I told you.
I know.
Go to Kelwin. AOW's in window. You'll find some dumbasses.
I know there's dumb people. Like, I do. But I just...
Oh, thanks.
Oh, I'm not saying you're a dumb person. I'm just saying I know there are dumb people on the internet, and by the rules of math, some of them are going to filter here into P99. That is all I'm saying.
Apparently one filtered right into your screen.
Look, I'm just saying, I would never stare at a wall for 16 hours. I know there were times where like I was catching up on a TV show and I'd binge watch like 4 or 5 episodes, and so I could put in a couple hours while I was doing that, or I'd be like, I'm gonna take an hour and clean up this office when that dude's done tracking, and I'll do it then. But I would never just be like, well, we're just gonna sit here and stare. Like, I would never do that. I would never do that. And and there have been times where it's like, not poop socking, but like locking down camps so that other guilds can't take them yet. And it's like, we're going to lose this camp if someone doesn't take it. And so then it's like, fine, I'll go.
Sirken, do you remember before 16-hour variants, when we used to have 150 or 200 people in Track's Lair for days straight?
Well, that's why we have
the you saw it there. Mm-hmm. I mean, you saw 150 people staring at the wall for 36 hours straight.
Yeah, it was horrible.
We're there. You saw that.
It was the most horrible thing.
So don't tell me people do that.
All right, you know what? I forgot about that. It was so traumatic. I had blocked it out of my experience or my memory.
Yeah, a little PTSD from that as well.
That dark era of life you don't want to remember.
All right. So do you want my third point or not?
I do. Give me your third point. Famas is on the edge of his seat, and I don't want to ruin his night.
All right. Good. This is for you, Famas.
All right.
I think competition, the notion of competition, and let me frame it between the top 2 guilds here, is kind of bullshit. And everybody says shit's classic and all that, but this speaks to the 16 hours of staring at a goddamn wall. Or even worse, having 3 trackers at the ready, and then a spotter with a Twitch stream or a shared Skype or something like that. 3 racers at the ready from each guild, and the competition is about which guild can bring the trackers and the racers to the table. The competition's actually for the FTE on P99 rather than competing on killing the content itself. And so when people say shit's classic, there's absolutely nothing about 1 spotter and 3 racers wasting 60 combined hours to kill a mob that either guild can kill trivially. And to think that we have a classic server is just absolutely nuts, because that shit, 60 hours on a single mob, 64 hours if it goes to the last second of the window and you're running 3 racers the whole time, isn't at all classic. It's and the competition isn't about anything.
So monks and bards get to compete.
Yeah, basically. It's about the war of attrition, who you're calling nuts to sit and stare at the screens that long. That's the competition and nothing else. Who can field the trackers because the kill is trivial. Most
GPS races are classic. GMs coming to intervene while the event was taking place is classic. Petitions were classic. I mean, guilds fighting goes back.
we've got an incredibly classic server mechanically, but this variance shit, I mean, is not. It's just not. And the competition that's bred of variance is nothing like it was on live. It's just wasting people's lives for some fucking stupid 16-hour window, sometimes multiplied by 4. I mean, it's not classic. And don't tell me that. You can tell me competition's classic, but this competition isn't classic, and neither is the variance. That's my third trope that I think is just...
Velious mobs. Velious did introduce a variance. I just don't know what the variance was. Yes,
right.
We've had.
I know Fippy was a TLP server, but we had a 24-hour variance on Vox, and I shit you not, we waited 48 hours for the damn thing.
Oh god.
Obviously, I wasn't. I was on call, but I was camped out there, and I was ready to go. But yeah, I mean, they're doing what they can to actually make it some type of competition. I mean, why wouldn't they? But hey, I'm not a GM, so I don't make the rules up. I just think the whole FTE thing is kind of dumb. Just DPS race the shit down and let mobs die within 10 seconds.
I mean, we could do that, but I'll tell you right now, I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel that will make the rich richer and the poor poorer as far as who gets what. Because
I mean, that's how EQ was, though. You always had either one or two top guilds that just ate everybody's asses.
I know.
And then they eventually, everyone's like, well, shit, let me just join that guild because we suck. I mean, yeah, it's dog eat dog out there until we actually moved on. Problem is, we're stuck in Velious forever, baby. It's going to be top of the line, one guild all the time. Might as well do it. Fuck it.
It'll be 2 that come and go. That's what's happened historically.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like Rampage. Like, eventually they're just like, oh, we have nothing else to win anymore. Fucking, like, half of them left or something like that. I don't know. And then, yeah, we're just rotate people in and out.
Internally to a lot of people, too. I mean, you mentioned, we epic in Enchanter and they gears and goes. I mean, it's not just Rampage as a unit, but it happens in all guilds as people tire of it.
I figure if you want competition, don't let the trackers and the runners have all the competition. Just make it the whole guild thing. Everybody sit at the damn raid mob and just DPS burn the damn thing down.
One thing that really would increase competition in PvE, and I think we all pretty much agree on this, is not having the spawn so spread out. If they were stacked better, you'd actually have to make choices about where you went, and things would self-stratify a little bit better. I mean, to have 90 people on VS the other night, 10 months into Velious, wow.
Yeah.
But there was nothing else up. There was nothing else to do. But if you had to make the choice between 3 TOV mobs or stacking your force at VS, maybe a smaller guild gets a shot at VS then. And so I think that it's been, 40, 50 days since the mobs were all stacked at the same time, and stuff's faded, gotten looser. I mean, some stuff's gone clear out to Friday because it's less interesting. That's one way to increase competition, because people are having to choose, to select where they're going from a suite of things that's up.
Is there a guild that basically wins all the time? Like, we keep saying competition, invoke more competition, but, I mean, is there really one guild that's actually dominating everybody else? I mean, there probably is, but when you say competition, that means you want kind of everybody to win.
There's definitely 2. I think it probably goes back and forth between which one is at the top. But
well, in essence, competition does exist in a good sense, since it's kind of being spread out a little bit. There's more than one person actually winning.
But there's more than 2 guilds on the server.
Well, fuck. There's only 3 goddamn expansions out. Yeah, people are going to be fucking unhappy. You should have a bitch box and just all put them all in there. Like, hey, this is where you go, and never answer the questions.
You would make a great staff member.
I don't want to be one. I won't be one.
Oh.
If that's a job offer, I'm not taking it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that, Cloki. I do think it would have been better for mobs to stay as close as possible. And for a while, I know that the earthquakes were resetting the timers on Velious mobs, and
They should set the whole world, I think.
I don't
At
think
the,
they were bunching up the non-Kunark ones, or I'm sorry, the
but they,
non-Velious ones. I think it was
but
only Velious that was affected.
right, and that wasn't. I don't know that that was necessarily intended, but I
It
remember
wasn't.
when the servers would come down, for a patch or something, everything would get resynced.
Hmm.
And even at
Well,
this
yeah.
area of Velius, they were taking the servers down at least twice a week. Um, maybe my memory's wrong,
No,
but it
no,
sure
you're
seemed
right.
like they were
We're
down
way
more than.
behind on total pops for where we
Well,
should
and
be.
not only that, but they were taking the shit down for maintenance all the time
Right.
too.
When the server actually comes down, it does reset all the times. But if we just do
Well,
an earthquake, that will not.
well, bring it down more often and stack it up and see some, see a different
Rogan's
kind
not
of
going to bring the
competition.
server down more often.
You
Well,
do it bi-weekly. Yeah.
spoof it then or something,
We just need
But
more earthquakes, and it would be nice if earthquakes would reset the timers of everything the way an actual server takedown would. Like,
yeah, and
that's
there
my
are a lot
opinion.
of people that are advocating for getting rid of variance altogether, in favor of 4 to 6 earthquakes a month. And I mean, think of the man hours that were saved. I did a little bit of math the other day,
Hmm.
and I figured that if each mob went the average of 8 hours and there was only one tracker on each raid mob over the course of time, it's like a quarter man year, figuring that, 2080, I think in the US is the standard. Every week, that much time is spent wasted staring at the screen. And there's bad value in that to start with, I think.
Hmm.
I think the moral of the story is there's really not going to be 100% people happy. About 75% are going to be pissed off. 25% will be happy because they're getting everything and they're winning. And that's how it's supposed to fucking be. The 75%, try fucking harder.
Though, I mean,
Oh my god,
the other
Famas.
thing, though, is that there was always an expansion. I mean, there
Yeah.
weren't 90 people on VS 10 months into Velius. I mean, third tier guilds, after it went 3-day, part of the reason it went 3-day was, that whole push to make epics more accessible to the masses.
Hmm.
When it moved from weekly to 3-day,
Hmm.
I mean, they really lowered the bar on epics so that the scrubs could get epics. And there wasn't as much competition. I mean, VSR moving from a or from a weekly VS kill. Hell, yeah, moving from a god kill on the hate stone. I'm thinking about the ranger specifically, to a chance every 8 hours.
Hmm.
I mean, the point of that in this era at this point was to give the scrubbies, chances at content that they'd been shut out of. But that's not necessarily happening on a 3-day VS with 90 people the other evening.
Look, I'll say this from experience. Look, I joined the server not even to raid whatsoever because I go into it fully aware I'm never going to put in the amount of time I need to be an end raider on this server. If I wanted to be a raider, I'd go to Finney. I'd go to live. I would do that shit. And I always say that in my streams was like, that's why I'm here. I'm only here for the actual community. I'm casual as fuck. But I see all the other guilds that kind of, what can we tweak on the rules to make it a little bit better to where we can compete? Well, I mean, sometimes you just can't compete. I mean, the other team's going to have better assets, better people, more people that have a lot more time on their hands. And that's just the way it is. I wouldn't expect the GMs to bend the rules or make rules for me. And I think that's like where a lot of the angst comes from. But people aren't leaving the server. They're always here. I see them all. I see like all of the other guilds. I won't name them out, but I think everybody kind of knows all the guilds on the server. I don't think they're struggling for numbers, so obviously they're sticking around. It's just a matter of, I mean, what do you want to get out of it?
I mean, it's
I mean,
also a revolving door. If a guild falls, other guilds will pick up that piece of the pie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there are niches in the ecosystem, and you know the guild names will change, but the niches will always be filled.
Mm-hmm. Well,
sorry, I'm trying to reach
And
chat.
here's the other thing that you're kind of missing too is that I mean, people are hurting for numbers. We were sitting at what 2400 when the first couple of months after Velius was released in prime time. And I think the numbers I'm seeing now when I log on in the evening, and I'm more a morning player, but I think I'm seeing like 1200 or something. And so, I mean, with no custom content in the cards for a while to speak of, and no expansions. I mean, we were all gearing and waiting and hoping for Velius, and Velius has been out for what, 10 months now. But I think the pop has dropped in half in the last 8 months.
Velius spiked for the first couple weeks. After the first couple weeks, it balanced out to like 1500. And
Did it? I thought
yeah,
it
because we
over
had
two for a couple
discussions.
of months.
No, we had discussions in staff about that, and then of course it trickled down even lower to about 1400, 1300, and now summer and warm weather is happening, and this is the fourth summer I've been here. It happens every single time. We're going to drop to about 11 or 1200, and then when it gets cold, we'll probably be back up to about 1400.
Yeah, it'll pick up hard again in September. We dropped one of our three raid days, dropped it to 2 until September for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, A plus. I have nothing else. I have absolutely nothing else. I don't know if either you, Cloki, or you, Famas, have anything you wanna try to squeeze in there.
Yeah, I got 2 things from my members.
Sure.
They're telling me to tell the devs to fix the rogue haste.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you to tell them bug report form.
Bug report form, guys. And then the other thing is wondering when the hybrid defensive caps are going to change. I think we're overdue for that, although I can't say that for sure.
No idea. I'm not 100% sure when in the timeline they came out. I'm not 100% sure where the next patch is taking us. But if we're past the point where they should be out, then also bug report.
All right, but again, you can't release the patch until the entire patch is done, and I'm sure that that's on the radar. I mean, it has to be, because it's
I'm sure it is. Like, I know there's a lot of people that are waiting for that. So I'm sure that's on there. Yeah, also chat room people, if you have questions, I promise I'll start looking just at Sirken P99 and I will see it. But yeah, consider this your open invitation to flood me with questions. Famas,
Yes.
are there any other things you want to say or any other questions you wanted to ask?
I'll just throw out fuck Venerate and eat a dick burrito. You're a piece of shit. But as far as this goes, no. I just tried to get kind of like dig into Cloki's mind a little bit, just how everybody felt in other guilds besides Aftermath and Awakened. Obviously, they're the 2 top dogs on the server. It's just kind of, I see the insight though, and I don't know, just keep grinding away, man.
I like it.
There's not much at the end of the road though. There's another fucking line that you're gonna be waiting at. It's not gonna be fun. 16 hours on the wall, man.
A plus.
By the way, when I say fuck Venerate, I truly mean it. Fuck Venerate. Sorry.
Oh no, trust me. I understand. Sometimes you need to reiterate things like that.
All right.
Boba T, I don't believe you because literally there's only 2 petitions waiting for me, and I think the oldest one is from June 15th. Ribbit is not really a question, but you used a question mark, so good job. GM's told us in Kunark 3 to 4 repops a month. What happened with that? I don't know. If I have no control over repops. I don't even know when they're coming.
That was part of the deal, though, that we cut
I know.
with,
I know,
and,
but
and that's just bullshit that it's not happening. I mean,
I can bring it up the mountain, but I mean, we've had discussions about it. Did you guys, staff, ever spoke about another PvP team? We haven't talked about any new servers for a while. How did you acquire such patience? I don't know. Would you have any update on custom content? I have no update on custom content. I'm not a dev. Fuck more repomps, which takes Lord Rogan, Lord Variants, and keep Windows spawns together. I mean, I definitely agree with the keeping things closer and bunched up just because it forces guilds to prioritize and doesn't really give them the option to go from target to target to target, killing everything, while the little guys are just like, well, this is fun, yay. And so, yeah. If anybody was here and I missed you guys, I'm sorry. I've been doing a really bad job with chat this evening. I've been focused on this other monitor. But yeah, thanks. Oh, shit. Do you think it's bullshit that Chase was chosen over Derek? I don't know what that is. We saw a recent ban on Awaken. Is this a penalty? We will see more often with raid disputes that cannot be resolved amongst blah blah blah. No, Scavengel. It says in the rules since April now that everything is a 10-day suspension. That's just
well,
normal.
I think the question is better framed when you're going to do something difficult and really draconian. The first time you pop that cherry, it's kind of tough. And I think what he's asking is, well, once you've done it once, is it going to be easier to do in the future, or is it going to be 4 months between them?
I mean, come to me with legit proof or proof of a legit violation. I told people after the meeting that I was going to smack people if they didn't work things out themselves. And some things can be worked out themselves, but some things are just a straight up violation of the rule. And I mean, in the situation that he's referring to, someone got an illegal FTE and they killed the mob. Like, they shouldn't have. They shouldn't even have engaged the mob with a force. Like, they were insta-DQ'd at that point and they killed it anyway. And then they went and made it worse by talking shit to the head of the server and various other staff members.
So here's a question then on the procedure, on the process there, and then I got a comment about logs. But if Awakened had gone to whoever the insulted party was, which guild was it? Or was it more guilds than one?
Anyway, I can't talk about that.
All right, anyway, if they had gone to the insulted party or parties and offered a settlement...
No, because they didn't wrong another guild. That's the big problem people aren't grasping here. They didn't wrong anybody else. They just fucked up. And that's it. That's why there's no one to negotiate with. That's why there's no one to concede things to. They just fucked up. And it's not like they trained somebody. It's not like they KS'd somebody. It's not like they were stalling, preventing someone else from engaging something. They just fucked up. They got an illegal FTE and killed it anyway.
So the fuck up came not from the FTE. They could have DQ'd themselves and left the zone, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was actually that the mob died, and that was the end of the story.
Yeah.
All right. And so here's something that I just want to point out that's probably obvious to everyone, but I want to say it out loud. None of that came from Fraps. That's all server log shit. And I just want to make the point that I think Fraps or it didn't happen is kind of bullshit, in that the first 10-day that you actually executed on was something that you could have found in the server logs rather than the Fraps, and I think that's meaningful.
Well, I mean, that is how we did it.
I know, but I think it means something.
I mean, ideally, we would do everything with logs, but, like, trains aren't logged. There's nothing you can do with that. Like, I need proof of training.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I think you understand what I'm saying. I mean, we've been through this ground before. I just find it interesting that the first 10-day was actually a log question rather than a Fraps question.
A+.
Could stream it.
Mordred, if we ever do anything with Carafim again, it would have to be through custom content. Hi, Nix. It's good to see you. And that's
Don't bring
that.
it back.
That's that. I'm done. We're done. Cloki, do I still have your shit copied? Yes. Boom. That link's in chat, and later you'll understand why. But click that. If you can get more information on Omni, that is Cloki's guild. They do things, and if you're interested in getting information on guilds or looking for a guild to join, or you already know you want to join that guild, that's where you would go and do those things. I'm also going to tell Famas to say something in chat so I can tell people things about him. That's supposed to be a slash, Famas1171. Go there, follow that person. He's a good streamer. He does P99. He does some other things too, but nobody's perfect, so we don't blame him for that. Cloki and Famas, thank you guys very much for coming on this evening. I'm sorry I haven't been my usual chipper self, but as I said at the start, I'm not feeling great. But I do appreciate having you guys on. I like, Cloki, I do like having discussions with you because there's not many people you can straight up disagree with and still have a discussion with.
That's true.
So, A+. And viewers and chatters, thank you guys very much for hanging out and asking questions. If some of you missed questions early on and I missed it, I'm really sorry. But I think I got everyone after the point where I said to ask questions. And if you missed things, youtube.com/SirkenP99 has all of the things. And hopefully I'll see you guys back next Monday. I'm going to look for Skype now so I can put them on hold while I do my outro. You're going on hold. Alright, we're alone. Classic, EverQuest, Project1999.com. We do it better else than anybody on the entire internet. I'm going to play my exit video. I hope all of you fine people have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Goodbye.